If you saw last episode, then you are fully aware that this crazy Y33 Laurel behind me is my latest pickup for this channel, and more importantly, it's fully kitted out to be a drift car. And as some of you are also aware, this Metropolitan has been my sad, unfortunate daily because the Forester I own completely died. So why would I buy a drift car if I don't have a daily? Well, today on this episode, I'm going to introduce you to probably the coolest daily I could have ever bought, and it's totally right-hand drive. This is my new to me 1990 Mitsubishi Pajero V6 wagon. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the coolest truck I could have ever bought as a daily driver. So this is the wagon model, and if you're from overseas, then you'll probably recognize that it's a little bit bigger than its small boy cousin, the actual, what everyone knows as a Pajero. This one is also one that came standard equipped with front and rear locking diffs. Oh my gosh, is this truck amazing. This one also has the V6. It's a 6G72, which if you're a Mitsubishi guy, you know immediately that name because unfortunately it's what they put into the later Eclipses, but on this, the tune is definitely well suited for a big boy truck. It's equipped with a 4x4 automatic transmission, and if you, again, know anything about Padros, or Pajeros as we would say here in America, yeah, you want the automatic for this because it was just bulletproof. Now, I've actually been driving this around for the last week and a half, and it has been a just amazing car. I haven't had a single bit of trouble with this thing at all. It drives so smoothly. The Yokohama Geolanders that are on it are not exactly my first pick for a tire, but these ones hook well enough and drive well enough that I'm okay leaving them on there for now. Got amazingly good handling for a truck of its size. The suspension that's in this is all OEM. Nothing in this truck is aftermarket. And as a result, it's a very sturdy, very stout vehicle to get into. And it's kind of funny because my dad has a now lifted Toyota 4Runner SR5. And this is the same size as the 4Runner on stock ride height. Like, for a 30-year-old truck, this thing is really good. Really good. Super comfortable. Everything in this is all analog. So, like, when it comes to electronics being replaced in the future, I could probably do it myself. Like, this truck can just take abuse and just keep on chugging. And it's something I didn't think I was gonna like at first, but as soon as I got it, as soon as I started driving it, I absolutely was head over heels in loving this thing. I am also very much used to the right-hand drive aspect of it. In fact, the right-hand drive actually now feels really, really comfortable and really, really natural for me to drive, to the point where, like, daily driving this isn't a problem at all. Now, I will be honest, for a 30-year-old truck, the fuel economy in this is quite appalling, but what I do get is a lot of fun for every gallon that I drive in this thing. And some of the features that are in this car are undeniably cool. For a car that's 30 years old, it was extremely forward thinking. And yet, here we are now, and I look at Mitsubishi and go, you could do this. You could do this again. But you choose not to, and it's really depressing. There's still hope on the horizon for that brand. With them bringing back Rally Art and really wanting to focus in on their SUV, I would say there's hope. There's hope that someday we will get back to the performance and level of quality that this truck has just absolutely in stone. It's just amazing. People in the know are absolutely in love with it. They think it's one of the coolest things they've seen on the road here in America. I've had several people from Africa and other parts of Asia just fall head over heels for this thing. And it makes me really, really happy to see people enjoy it. I will say the R12 does need to be recharged. But other than that, this car is perfectly fine. everything in this thing works. It's got 160,000 kilometers, which in mileage terms, that's going to be about 105,000 miles. For a truck this old, that's not bad for mileage. Add to this truck has no rust at all. Just nowhere on the frame. There are 2 spots that have rust, and they are not part of the chassis. One of them is the front bull bar, and the other one is actually the sunroof. It's not a Japanese part. It's a Jeep part, if I remember right, from an old Cherokee. It is what it is. The point is that as far as the underside of this truck goes, I couldn't have asked for a more perfectly put together vehicle. Everything about this truck is ready to go, and I'm so excited to get started. Real quick, check out how cool this interior is.
Look at this front. It's extremely dated. This is definitely the end of an era here. For the front doors, as you can tell, solid handlebar. Everything here is just very, very compact. The door sleeve, not super big, but it does the job. And more importantly, I have many names for these. I call them blade windows growing up because they look like a blade. I also call them pilot windows. But these guys, want to talk about the best air circulation ever. Going down the highway with this guy wide open, it's like having the AC on. You don't even need it half the time in this car. For a car this old, this interior is immaculate. Look at it. The stitching's in good shape. There's no real snags in it at all. The switches, they all still work. And very, very much of its time, every door has a cigarette tray. Because, you know, Japan. Leather's in good shape. Things are just overall looking well. There's a couple places that are not so great, right? There's a tear here and on the passenger seats. One little nifty feature that a lot of people miss is there's actually a handlebar to get in and out of the car or the back seat. So you don't have to like grab anything above or anything like that. You literally just grab on and swing up. Look at the legroom. That's in Ian's seating position. Okay. A little bit leaned up, but that's Ian's seating position. He's a tall guy. He's 7 foot. You can still sit comfortably back here. Add to this, boom, armrest on both sides. Yes, this is not a 3-seater bench. This is a 2-seater bench, which makes things a lot more comfortable for everyone involved. Also, there's literally direct AC. Direct AC for whoever's in the back seat. The vents are literally in the ceiling, so they pour straight down onto you, the passenger. On top of that, the whole seating array slides completely forward so that you can maximize all of your cubic square footage of storage in the back seat if no one's here. And yes, we have swift seats, jump seats, whatever you want to call them. The rear bench, it folds up. Many aspects about this whole setup is incredibly old school, but also very forward thinking. You could buy one of these and it could be used every day for any purpose. Another really cool feature is that that same lever that slides the seats forward also can be used to recline the seats back. I mean, look at that. You could literally take a nap right there. There ain't no airline on the face of the earth except for first class seating that would sit this comfortably. This also has one of my favorite things ever, a big old school swing door. And yep, there is a latch for the people in the back to get out the back. The bottle for the rear wiper is right there. So you pull the panel off and then you can fill it back in. It's a little bit of a pain to get in and out because of the way that material is. This right here, it's all very well kept and it's definitely steel. I'm not worried about anything damaging that floorboard. I just gotta keep the carpet in good shape. One really cool thing though, this box right here. This is literally the heating element for the back seat. Yes, you have your own heater for this section of the car. In addition to more venting that's shared with the back seat. Like, this car is made for people and to go do things. Now, what are our plans for the truck? Well, I'll be real with you. Honestly, nothing. I love how this thing is out the door, and if I ever have to do maintenance on it of any kind, it'll be an upgrade. So we do have some rear shocks coming in because the ones that are in here are starting to leak. But other than that, this thing is just good to go. But what we will do to this thing is prep it for some overlanding. I have always wanted to get into vehicular camping, and more importantly, I've always wanted to get into some level of off-roading.
and I knew that I was probably going to be in the near future moving out further west instead of being in Ashburn, moving more towards like Winchester, Virginia. It's a lot more rural out there. It's not as developed and suburban as it is out here. So I wanted a truck I knew I could trust and I knew I could rely on and I could still get parts for and be able to daily drive. So this really scratches the itch for that. But I've always wanted to be able to go into the sticks in my truck with my dog and camp out for a weekend. And in this, there's no question, I definitely can do it. And I've already spent a good chunk of change on parts and camping gear and whatnot. I'm really excited to start doing some off-road content for you guys, but also just having a little bit of fun the way that I would have growing up. I used to be a Boy Scout when I was much, much younger, and I've always wanted to get back into the wild, get back into the Alpine, and just enjoy my time out there. And with this truck, I believe I can do it. I have a faith that I can do it, and I trust that it'll keep me going and won't break down, and it'll be reliable and actually get there. We spent so much time on this channel working on modified cars and street cars, drift cars, race cars, that being able to do something that's a little different has actually been a really, really nice breath of fresh air. And I hope for you guys, it's not going to be a deterrent. If anything, I hope it encourages you guys to expand your enthusiasm to other parts of car enthusiasm, because there's a lot out there. You just got to be willing to try it out for yourself. But with that said, I hope you guys enjoy this little peek at my newest investment. I know buying the drift car last week was kind of a surprise for everybody, including myself. But this was definitely on the books for a while, that I try to find a new vehicle, and one that I knew I would actually absolutely love and adore. And this definitely is that one. But with that said, thank you all for watching. God bless you guys, and we'll see you on the next episode. Probably me making a fool out of myself in the Laurel. Alright, cool. God bless. Peace.